Why are we caffeinating? Yet another holiday collection. This time from our British queen, Miss Lisa Eldridge, has come out with some beautiful new holiday products that really scream holiday season. Lots of sparkles, lots of glamour. And so today we're going to take a look at some pieces, not all of them, but some pieces from the Lisa Eldridge holiday collection. And so if that sounds good to you, then please like, subscribe, follow along, and shop my links, Unsolicited Advice, on YouTube and on Instagram. Now, I'm going to try today, whenever possible, to use Lisa Eldridge as my base. I don't have everything Lisa Eldridge has put out, and she hasn't put out products in a lot of categories. So, we'll try to sub in some like products where we can. I've already done my brows, and I've already put on my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. And so I thought we'd take a minute and look at the holiday sets that have come out this year. She has a variety of them, but the ones that I think have really interested people the most are the ones that include all new products. And so the first one is called the Sequin Suite, and it comes in this gorgeous holiday gift package by illustrator Blair Brennenstein. And what's funny is I've actually followed this artist online before because she does a lot of art for the Carlisle Hotel and Bimmelman's Bar. And so I'm very familiar with her art. In fact, she has a print on the Carlisle Hotel shop that I would love to get of these three women at Bimmelman's Bar. But Sequin Suite is a trio of lip glosses, and they're very holiday, very holographic. We have Chameleon Chaos. Ignore the stickers. Those are for me because I can't see anymore. Peekaboo and Kensington Plum. And then she also came out with this set called the Mirrorball Eye Kit, also in a beautiful holiday package with 3 different ladies. And this includes 3 of her sequin eyeshadows. We have Aria, which is a cool silver. We have Rosalie, which is a beautiful kind of rose gold. And finally, we have Selene, which is a gray-green metallic. All of these can be purchased separately or in sets. And with Lisa Eldridge, the sets have a big price difference. So I always recommend, if you can, to get the set. She also came out with 2 new shades of her Rouge Éxtrait lipstick, also in a collector's box. There is a sparkly red shade that is on back order, so I have that coming. I'll have to use that in a future video. But the other shade that came out is Dreamy Damask, which is a cool tone, kind of beautiful rose color. So we're going to look at all these products today and put as much of it on our face as possible with some other pieces from the Lisa Eldridge catalog. And so let's go ahead and start. I don't have a Lisa Eldridge primer. I'm not sure if she has a primer, but I've often noticed that Lisa Eldridge plays really well with Lancome, that makes sense, and plays very well, she's their artistic director, and with Victoria Beckham Beauty. So I'm going to use the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Primer, and I have mine in the shade Rose. And this is a beautiful product. It just adds illumination and hydration and provides a really nice base for you to go in and put a foundation. The other way I like to use this primer is as a mixing medium. I'll grab my towel. As a mixing medium and with more matte foundations. And the Lisa Eldridge, she has 2. She has the Skin Tint, and then she has her traditional foundation. I have my traditional foundation in the shade 12. It's a little matte for me, so what I like to do, first shake it up very well. And I like to add in a little bit of one of those like mediums. So in this case, I'll just use a little bit of that Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Illuminator in the rose, like a pump and a half, and I use maybe 3 pumps of the foundation. So I'm gonna mix that on the back of my hand. This is a thick foundation. It's not one of my all-time favorites, but it certainly works. I do like it when you mix it with a mixing medium because otherwise it can be a little matte for me. But like this with a mixing medium is really beautiful. And look at that level of coverage. And then people adore her skin tint. I think it is a really great skin tint. It has been sort of overthrown as my favorite skin tint by a couple of others, but that doesn't mean that I don't still love it. But if you're comparing it to like the Victoria Beckham, which that's not really a skin tint, it's a foundation drop, but it does have that kind of level of coverage, maybe a little bit more. You know, I much prefer the Victoria one, but the Lisa one's very nice too. The Lisa one is probably the lightest in coverage, so it's really good at evening skin tone. But you can see even with this full coverage or medium coverage foundation, it looks really beautiful, and it's not too matte when I add in that mixing medium. If I just use it by itself, it's a little too matte for me. Now she has a concealer pencil, and I believe she's coming out with a liquid concealer, or she's hinted. The concealing pencil is for covering up little marks or dots, things like that. And I do like that product, but because she doesn't have a liquid concealer yet, I'm going to go ahead and use Lancome, because that makes sense. Lisa is the artistic director, at least of Lancome Holiday, and comes out with those gorgeous holiday palettes every year, this year included. So I'm going to put that down. And shade-wise, that's a beautiful complement to that foundation from Lisa Eldridge. It's just a little bit brighter, but it still has that kind of slightly peachy golden undertone, which I really like. Okay, and I think that looks really beautiful. Easy peasy, and those products work really well together. So you can use the liquid sequin shadows by themselves. What I tend to do is grab one of the Lisa Eldridge silk shadows. She has a variety of these in different colors. I've just grabbed the color Phoebe, but I like to put just a little bit of this, particularly in the crease and in the outer corner, just to create kind of a little bit of a base for the sequin to go on. But you could use your favorite bronzer or anything like that. And I'm going to work this into the crease and into that outer portion just a little bit. And with whatever left, I'm going to take it under the lower lash line. And I'm just creating kind of a base there. There's nothing, like I said, you could use your favorite bronzer, but the Lisa Eldridge silks are really beautiful as a primer or as just something to add some depth. So I'm going to pull you in a little closer so we can look at the new shades of the, what are they called? The Sequin, no, it's not the Sequin Suite. It's the Mirrorball Eye Kit. Eye Kit. Okay, come on. I'm losing it. Ah! That thing hates me. Okay, there we go. I don't think the camera likes me very much sometimes. So there are 3 new shades of these. We have Rosalie, which is a rose gold. We have Aria, which is a cool silver disco ball. And we have Selene, which is a beautiful pewtery kind of greeny gold color. So I think what we'll do today is I'm going to show you Rosalie. It's kind of the mildest one of the 3. And so the way I'm going to show that to you is I'm going to put this one on the inner corner and the inner third of both lids. And maybe that'll just give you an idea of how these would look. You know, if I had put this all over my lid, you can see it's a beautiful rose gold color. But I only have 2 lids, so this would make a beautiful inner eye color though as well. But this would be beautiful all over the lid too. But I like using this as kind of an inner eye color like that. And you can see that's a really beautiful color. Let me grab, I'm going to grab a Rephr 14 Mini just to work out the edges a little bit on that. And the thing about these is that they do dry down fairly fast, but you have some time to play around. But you can see that beautiful color, and you can imagine how beautiful that would be as a one and done. But I like to use them like this too for my inner color. Really beautiful, and that's really the most subtle of the three. The second one is Aria, and this one really is a disco ball. Now, I've noticed that if you use a brush, you're going to remove some of the color when you use these kind of liquid shadows. So my preferred method is to put it on and use a brush to blend it out, and then go back in and just kind of pat in some color where you really want it intensified. And you will see that this is a very intense color. It is a cool disco ball silver. And I'm going to go ahead and grab that brush and just kind of place this and scatter it. And you'll see the brush removes some of the pigment, which I don't necessarily mind if you want something that's more subtle. And I'm going to make it match up with that rose gold color that I put in the corner. But you can see that gives it kind of that more scattered look. And I actually like to use the brush that I used with the first color when I do this, because it incorporates the first color in a little bit. And then, like I said, my preferred method is to go back in and place the silver really where you want it to be accentuated. And then at that point, I think the best method is to use your finger to just kind of place it and blend it in, because it doesn't remove product. And that's a beautiful silver color, and I really like it. And by adding that little bit of that Rosalie in the corner, it keeps it from being too cool. So this is Aria, and it's described as a clear silver, and it really is. Like, that's a perfect holiday kind of look. You could take your brush and run a little bit under as well with any product that's left over. Or if you wanted to deepen things up, you could go back in with that matte silk, and I had mine in the shade Phoebe. You could use your favorite bronzer, but whatever, and just deepen up that corner. But I like the way this looks right here. So that's two. That's Phoebe and Aria. And then on the other eye, we will look at Phoebe and Selene. And this color, I have to tell y'all, is absolutely stunning. It's kind of a gunmetal pewter with some green and gold in it. Very unique. And the thing about the Lisa Eldridge liquid shadows, both the mattes and the liquid sequin ones, is that they don't really crease and they are long lasting. They look really beautiful. Now I'm going to shear this one out a little bit. You can see how beautiful that color is. And then I'm going to go back in just like I did with the first one and really lay it on thick in the area that I want to have a lot of concentration, and then pat that portion in. And you can see that is a stunning color, really unique. So that is Selene with some Rosalie in the corner, and Aria with some Rosalie in the corner. And these are so easy. Look how quick and easy that look went. Now I'm going to go ahead and do liner and lashes, and I'm going to use my Lisa Eldridge Burnt Umber, which people who watch my channel a lot are probably tired of me, but this is definitely a beautiful color. And it's just kind of a warm brown, but it works so well. Black would obviously work well with this too. But that works so beautifully, and you can see, particularly with this one, that looks really stunning. And I'm going to go in and with my Lisa Eldridge Kitten mascara, also in Burnt Umber, and just put a coat on. Black would work really well with this too. You could even do a color with this silver because it's so neutral. Okay, so you can see how quick and easy and dramatic those looks are. I think they're really beautiful. So I'm gonna pull you out a little bit. In theory, you know, this doesn't always like me. And we'll take a look at the first of the lip products. First of all, before I do that, let's stick on some bronzer because I'm looking a little pale, and I'm gonna grab my RMS bronzer. Let me grab a big fluffy brush. This is my RMS bronzer in Beach Walk Betty. And I like this one around the holidays because it has a little bit of shine to it. And adds a little bit of life to the skin, especially if you're using a foundation like this that's more matte. And I don't have any blushes from Lisa Eldridge. I'm not even sure that Lisa Eldridge has blushes. I don't think she does. So what I'm gonna do now is show you what this new color, this is the Damask Rose, what's it called, Damask Rose? No, Dreamy Damask, the new shade in the holiday collection. And this is in the Rouge Experience formula, which if you never tried these, they're refillable, really beautiful component. And this is kind of the highest end of the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. You see, it's just a cool tone rose color, but I think it works really beautiful. Like I said, there's also a shiny kind of red color for the holidays, but that one's on back order, so I'll have to show that to you in a future video. But the reason I pulled this out is because she doesn't have a blush, so I'm just gonna make one with some of this beautiful color, and we'll see how this works as a blush. I think it will work really well. It's a cool tone rose color. Okay, let's go ahead and blend that in. And you can see that works really well as a blush in a pinch. Just adds a little bit of a flush of pink. Now for the highlight, Lisa has my favorite liquid highlighters. And so I've grabbed the one in Pink Moon, but she's got 4 or 5 colors of this. They just get that lit from within and there's no visible glitters. And you can see I went pretty heavy with my dots, and that's okay because these blend out so beautifully. And they also make a beautiful blush topper. I think, you know, I love the Dior ones. There's some really beautiful ones on the market, but I really think she's got the best one. I mean, look at that glow. They feel so light and creamy. But then when they set, they set. That's a really beautiful glow. Okay, so I wanted to show you the 3 new sequin, what are they called? Yeah, sequin lip glosses. We have Kensington Plum, Peekaboo, and Chameleon Chaos, and they are all very holographic. I'm gonna start with the shade Chameleon Chaos, and I'm actually gonna leave this kind of pink lipstick on because my lips don't have a lot of base today. They're kind of dry and crusty, so I'm gonna pull this in a little bit. And so we can take a look at these 3 colors as they are. So this is Chameleon Chaos, would also work beautiful by itself or with a liner. And you can see that's got a beautiful sparkle, kind of a rusty, hot pink, a little bit of gold in it. That's a really pretty color for the holidays. This is Chameleon Chaos. That's a beautiful color. Okay, I'm gonna take this off and then we'll come and look at the other 2. Okay, I went ahead and pulled that off, and I'm gonna actually put Camila Cabello. I'm gonna put Chameleon Chaos on by itself, just so you can see what it looks like. These look much more intimidating in the bottles than they do on the lips. You can see on a nude lip, it's just beautiful. It just has a little bit of pink, gold, and like a burnt orange kind of sparkle. So that's Chameleon Chaos. Okay, we'll take this off and we'll look at the next one. The next one is a hot pink, and it's got some gold and some purple in it. And this one is called Peekaboo. Okay, that's bold. That is a fuchsia. You can imagine that with a liner. Beautiful for the holidays. That is a beautiful fuchsia. That over a lipstick, particularly a dark lipstick, would really pop, but this is Peekaboo. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna grab a liner so we can do the final look and then think about our thoughts or talk about our thoughts with this collection. And so I will be right back. Okay, for this last color, which is called Kensington Plum, I'm gonna use a dark liner. And so I've grabbed Victoria Beckham in the shade 5, but Wes Metelier has some beautiful dark liners. Pat McGrath has some beautiful dark liners. Lisa Eldridge has beautiful liners. I just don't have any in a dark color. Lisa, feel free to send some. And I will say, these don't burn, these glosses or anything like that. They're just a beautiful sequin lip gloss. I don't really feel any burning. They do make your lips look fuller because they're so shiny. This is Kensington Plum with liner number 5 from Victoria Beckham. I love that. That's really pretty. So that's Kensington Plum. Now I'll pull you out. Or down. Or in. Out. Wonderful. Okay, so this is the bulk of the Lisa Eldridge holiday collection, at least the items that I don't have. Some of them were mascara sets or things like that, which I already had. I am waiting on that one lipstick to come in. But at least today we got to see Dreamy Damask, which is one of the 2 new shades of the Rouge Allure lipsticks, which if you've never tried them are absolutely gorgeous. And then the Mirrorball and the Sequin Suite kits, both with these beautiful gift packaging, the kind of collector's items. So I'm a big fan of Lisa Eldridge. I love her 6-pan eyeshadows. I love a lot of her products, her silk liquid eyeshadows that I put down first, her skin tint, her mascara. It's a beautiful brand. It can take a little while to ship here in the holidays, so if you want to get these as holiday gifts, I would get them quickly. And she does tend to sell out of a lot of popular favorites. But like I said, I think these would make beautiful holiday gifts. I should also say that this Dreamy Damask, as well as the red color for the holidays, are available as refills. So you only have to buy the component once, and then the refills are $30, which is really reasonable given the really beautiful formula that Lisa Eldridge provides in her Rouge Allure lipsticks. So what do you think? I think this looks really beautiful. All 3 shades of eyeshadow, all 3 shades of lip gloss, and the new lipstick. If you like this kind of content, then please consider liking, subscribing, following along, and shopping my links. It greatly helps. And we will continue down the path of holiday makeup and looking at new products, as well as some old favorites. Thank you so much for joining today. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye. Bye.